Hello, and welcome to episode 65 of the Tire and Rubber Recycling Podcast. One of the things that is increasingly being discussed is the need for recycling at source, a move away from exporting tires halfway around the world and improving domestic recycling industries. So we thought, who would we speak to in this issue? Somebody who is an expert in the field of recycling at source. And who else could we speak to but Kalle Saarrimaa from TANA in Finland. TANA is one of the leaders in the manufacture of mobile shredding equipment. So without any further ado, over we go to our interview with Kalle Saarrimaa. Okay, so we're interested today in what TANA can do to help with recycling at source. So Tyre in Germany is starting a campaign to encourage or persuade the European Union to legislate to encourage recycling at source. You obviously, with the Shark 440, get very close to the recycling. So can you tell me what your thoughts are on recycling at source?
Yeah, of course. Happy to do that. I think, first of all, I think to progress the recycling at source is a good initiative, and we have seen that happening or increasing recycling in different European countries when done properly. And then, of course, but that's not recycling at source can also be seen, I would say, recycled at proximity, because sometimes, for instance, in a construction yard, and you're in demolition or something, and you are can be very small site. So then, of course, the key thing is that how can you kind of then how much space do you have to sort? Like, is there enough room for sorting at that site? And then secondly, if not, then how to arrange this using the proximity principle that you can then do it as close as to the source as possible. So I think we can't be too black and white in sorting at source, even though I believe it's one of the key ways to increase recycling rates.
Yeah, okay. And with tires, there must be an advantage to processing tires at a collection yard rather than shipping them halfway across Europe before they're processed, or halfway around the world before they're processed.
Absolutely, I think that's a very important point, and that's why typically a recycling facility needs a typical particle size, they need a certain purity level of the material, and when you recycle at source or near to the source, for instance, tires, you get out the metals, you get out the impurities, and basically reduce the logistics costs from the site then to the eventual recycling facility, and then you can recycle the residues, like if there is like metal containing fractions or fines fractions for energy or SRF type of usage. You can use those in the local area, so you avoid kind of a shipping material that don't need shipping. Like you have these local solutions for metals in every European country, but then you might have a consolidated tire recycling plant somewhere which requires a specific particle size. Naturally, then it's economically and ecologically more sustainable to ship only the material that needs to be shipped.
This is an area where TANA specializes, because you have the Shark is a mobile unit. It can be installed at one site. It can do its work at one site, and then it can be relocated to another site. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and that is the big benefit of mobile machines with our Shark shredder, for instance, is that Very easy to adjust, very easy to adjust for different type of materials. You can screen whatever particle size you like by using the screen basket underneath the rotor. So you have a lot of flexibility with mobile machine. And I think what is important, or what kind of one thing people sometimes might not think, is that when you have a mobile machine, and when we discuss about this kind of how recycling evolves constantly, you need this new regulation coming into place. Commodity prices like price of plastic, price of metals go up and down. With mobile machine, you are not kind of fixed to only one solution. You can adjust the machine, you can relocate the machine, you can even sell the machine to someone else. Whereas if you would have a big fixed line for doing something that don't have the same flexibility, then when for instance regulation changes so that you need a different particle size, or you want to sell the material to different place, your mobile machines are very, very kind of easy to adjust and very flexible to adapting to these regulatory changes, what are constant in this domain.
So if I were a tire collector and I was shipping tires to India, for example, I'm shipping a lot of air. Even if the tires are baled, I'm shipping a lot of air. Is there a potential for a recycling at source to alleviate that transport issue, that logistics issue, by compacting the material even further?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, like there is always the limitation of size in any truck that you, or any logistics method. There is a limitation of what is the size of the material, and more the bulkier the material is, then naturally you get less tons to same airspace, and that can, as mentioned, that can then lead to significant savings of logistics costs, but also savings in environment, because you can ship more with one truck or one ship.
Okay. Now we've mentioned the Shark several times. Can you say what the specific advantages of the Shark equipment is?
Yes, it is a special machine, which has plenty of kind of unique things. And one is that it starts with the raw power of the machine. It's the highest torque mobile single shaft machine on the market, and it's very smartly built that it can really tolerate contaminated materials, like heavily contaminated materials, meaning typically it can shred difficult materials, and if it couldn't shred, the machine still doesn't break down. Like some machines, if you put in there something that you can't shred, the material can't take the hit. With our machine, you can really put in basically anything. It also shreds almost anything, but if it doesn't hurt the machine. That's a one big thing. Then second thing I would like to mention is because of the smart control system and the screen basket underneath, an adjustable screen basket underneath the rotor, you can also do one pass ready-made TDF, for instance, with the machine. So you have also this big advantage of needing only one machine to make the end product. I think these two things are really key benefits for users of these machines.
Okay, so rather than having a primary shredder and a secondary shredder, the Tana Shark does the job. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For most of the materials.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to add about recycling at source?
Yeah, then I would say even with our good Shark machine, you sometimes need alternative solutions, and right now we are actually bringing to the market also a quite soon a new disc screen product, which then further kind of gives you opportunities to optimize the material flow at the source for different particle sizes, which can then really boost your economics on your yard. So it is just important to always to look like what material you have to have at source, and then optimize the machines and the process to maximize the value and recycling rate of those waste streams.
But there we have it, the view from the source, as it were. Interesting to hear Kalle's view on recycling at source. I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the future. If you enjoy hearing from Tyre and Rubber Recycling and you enjoy watching the podcasts, you can subscribe below or subscribe to the magazine for daily updates. And you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and X. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.